Hello, my name is Jimmy Vegas and welcome to this, the 14th in a series of video tutorials for Unity 5. So this episode we're going to be carrying on with what we have been constructing in our previous episode, and if you remember we were piecing together our text box and our quest box, which is just like that. So this episode is going to be mainly about scripting, so we're going to get straight into it. So the first thing you'll want to do is if you go to your scripts folder in your asset section, right click, create, and JavaScript. And we'll call this one, let's just call this Quest 001. Okay, so as I say, this one's all about scripting, so we're going to be spending a lot of time in MonoDevelop. So let's double click to open up our script and give it just a couple of seconds and it will open up in good old MonoDevelop. So we're going to be writing quite a few lines of code today, but I'm hoping the episode doesn't drag on for too long, but we'll see how it goes. So once you've got your script open, delete everything it gives you as usual. And the first thing we'll need to put is we'll need to import Unity engine, if I can spell engine, .ui, semicolon. And the reason we need to use that is because we're using UI, so we basically need the script to realize what we're doing. So we need to set quite a few variables now. I think 7 we'll set in total. So first one is var, and we'll have this text box on check, which needs to be an integer, and we'll make it equal to 0. So this one checks if our text box is on screen or not. And before we go any further, let us quickly double check that it is not on screen. So we go to canvas, message box, and let's untick that right there. If you remember last episode we did do that, but then we reactivated it, and we'll leave the quest box on for now. So back into MonoDevelop, next variable, we'll call this one message box, and this will be a game object. So game object, and all this one is it defines our message box as an object in the script. Next one, we need the text box. In fact, we'll do a capital B, we'll keep it streamline. So remember, if you do use capitals on this, you need to maintain that capital all the way through. And this one is also a game object. Remember, it's capital G and capital O there. This one is just in the same way that the message box is set as a game object. The text box within that message box is also a different game object. So now we have text message, we'll call this. Oh, sorry, I should put state as a variable first, my bad. Text message, and this will be a string. Make sure that it's a capital S on string there, otherwise you will run into errors. And all this one does is defines the text that we can change within the script whenever we talk to our NPC. Next one, variable, let me see, what should we call this one? I'm just going to call this one quest box. And much like the message box, this is a game object. So we're just stating our quest box, which is in the top right of your screen. So we're able to change that text at the same time using this next variable, which is quest box, we'll have it as, and that's also game object. So again, in the same way, it's just define the text in the quest box. And lastly, we do need one more, sorry. We'll call this quest name, and this one is a string, again with a capital S. So that one is where we can define our quest name at any given time. We can just change it in the top right box. Okay, so now we need a function, and the way I want to do this is whenever we click our NPC, that is when they will talk to us. So we need a function, and we'll do it on mouse down, and then brackets, open curly bracket. So next what we need to do is we need to check if our text box is on screen or not. So if it isn't on screen, by default it's set to 0. So if, and then text box on check is equal, remember the double equal there, is equal to 0, close bracket, open curly bracket, we want to do the following. So first things first, we need to put text box on check. We need to make that equal to 1. So that sets the variable to turn the box off further down the line. The next thing we'll need to do is message box set active. Sorry, that's message box dot set active there. And we need to set as true. So it re-enables the message box to display on screen. And next what we need to do is text box. Let me think how am I going to get around this. Get component, I think. So we need to get component of the text box, which will be, in this case, the text, because we want to change the text here. Open close bracket dot text is equal to text message. So before we go any further, what we'll do is in Unity itself, if we go to the message box and then text, let me see, here where we've got hello traveler, we'll actually write our first conversation with our villager here. So we'll put villager, hello, some bandits have stolen my money. Could you retrieve it from them on the other side of the river? Okay, so as it stands now, when we actually start our game and talk to our man, he will display this text just here. So we don't theoretically need to actually put that text as our text message as a string, but we will change it later on. So we also want to set our quest name. So we'll put quest name is equal to, and in double quotes, active quest, and let's come up with a name for this quest. Let's just call it simply recover the loot, and then a semicolon at the end. So we've changed our quest name. So we now need to put our quest name into our text box. So quest text is equal, sorry, not equal to, my bad, sorry. Sorry, we need to get the component on this one, don't we? Get component, and we need the text again in this one. So you need the spiky open bracket, and then we need text. I'm trying to think how we did this. Yeah, so it's double brackets there, open close bracket, and then the text is equal to the text message. Not text message, no. What have we set? We've set quest name, isn't it? Sorry. Quest name. See, I'm going a bit too fast here. So just to recap the quick line, seems we've had a bit of a muck around with it. We're saying that the quest text, we want to get component that's attached to it and get the text. And we want to change it to whatever the quest name is. And remember, we define the quest name as active quest, recover the loot there. So that line changes our top right box, which is the quest box, to whatever we've put here. So next thing to do on there is let's close that curly bracket for that if. And then we need to put an else statement. So this is where we put in our effectively any more text if our guy has to say it. So what we need to do first though is text box on check, and we need to make that equal to 0 again so we can display, and then we'll put message box.set active. We need to, false on that one, isn't it? False. And then we'll also make the text message here equal to a new message. And we'll simply put a message from the villager saying, get going then. He's a bit of an impatient villager. Okay, so that ends our if and else. So we'll end that function there. Now, hopefully, I'm going to save that now, and let's quickly try this out and see how we go. Let me turn my speakers off there. Okay, so we found an error. Let's have a look in our console. So we've obviously mistyped something. So it's given us this one, quest name. So we've possibly set something a bit wrong there. Let's take out these. Oh, sorry, I see what we've done. We've not put a double quote at the end. Sorry, that's my fault. So make sure it does have the double quote at the start and end of what you want your guy to say. So hopefully, if we go into our console and clear. Okay, so we've not put a semicolon somewhere. Let's head back into it and find out where. There we go. At the end of that line there, my mistake, I've missed off the semicolon. So once again, what's going on now? Okay, so it doesn't like something here. Oh, I've realised, sorry. I've actually put quest box twice. This second one here should be quest text. So that explains a lot. I've made a little boo-boo there. So all our errors have gone now. And as always, if you're having problems with this script, head over to our website. A fully working version will be available on our website. So let's press play. And let's head into this little house. And let's speak to our guy. So we click on him. It's not quite worked. What's going on? What's going on? Tell you what, let me start that again. He did not like that one little. Oh, do you know what? I have made an absolute schoolboy error. How silly am I? How can I actually say anything if the script isn't actually on him? So drag and drop your script onto your NPC, and let's check that's on there. Yep, there we go. And what we'll need to do, I've missed off something pretty important. So you'll notice here, once we've dragged the script onto our NPC, we have all these just here. Message box, text message, quest box, quest, blah, 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 blah. So what we'll need to do is, firstly, message box, we need to drag onto message box just here. So drag and drop this over there, and then the text beneath it onto there, then the quest box onto the quest box, and then the text beneath that onto quest text. Now, with any luck, we should be able to have our man actually talk to us. So let's click him. And that doesn't want to work. Okay. Let's see why, shall we? So that looks all fine. Yeah, I can't see a problem with that, why that's not working. So let me quickly check if, let's try and put in a game object, a cube, and let's put our quest 001 onto the cube, and then let's try clicking the cube and let's see what happens. Okay, so it doesn't really seem to like that at all. Let's see, the variable, okay, so we do have an error there, so I'm just going to delete that cube. So we do have an error in the console, let's see. So it doesn't like something here. So message box dot set active true. So it doesn't like that in any way, does it? What's message box is, so is it just that that's the problem? It appears to be, yeah. So let's try and troubleshoot this. The variable of message box of quest 001 has not been assigned. Is it because okay, I think it's because, sorry, you have to bear with me on this one. I've actually ran this before I started this tutorial, and everything ran just fine. So let's quickly try again on this cube and see why it doesn't actually work. So message box onto message box, text onto text, quest box onto there, and then text onto there. So let's try that one again. Let's head into our house. Okay, so there we go. For some reason it doesn't want to work so well on the guy, but very strange. So we can, oh well, there we go, there's the get going then. So we can kind of get around that, but I did notice one thing over here. We need to adjust our quest box. So I'm going to go to the quest box. Just need to adjust the size. So we'll click this one and we'll bring it out to about there. And what I'm going to do is to make things a little bit easier, and in all honesty, it keeps everything a bit tidier. Our main guy there, he doesn't really want to speak to us. So we can do a really kind of a clever little thing. If we go to cube and we'll rename this, rename as NPC001. I'm actually going to drag and drop this Will character into the cube and then zero out his position. Let me see. Actually, before I do that, my apologies, I think I will extend this cube to actually make it the size of him. So let's see, best way to do this, let's change the scale to 2. And let's decrease it to 0.5, 0.5, maybe a bit wider on the Z or Z, whatever you want to call it. Let's try putting this as 0.75. Okay, that should do. And what I'm going to do now is take off Mesh Renderer. And let's put Will straight into NPC 001. Let's remove that component from Will because it's now on our NPC. Let's put him back into place. And let's try it all again. So one thing I do always say with Unity, it's trial and error with a lot of things. It's a bit of a pain to get around sometimes, but there we go. So we've clicked him. He's not quite said what we want him to say, but we can get around that in a second. And our active quest is now recover the loot. So what we'll do is head back onto here. We'll copy what we typed in there. We'll go to NPC 001, and here where you've got text message, we'll paste. hopefully, when we press play and head back in there, we'll talk to him and he speaks to us. Our quest is recover the loot and he's saying something to us. So let's click him again and he's saying get going then. That's very nice. Okay, so how long have we been going now? I think we've been going about 20 minutes so far, but unfortunately we aren't quite finished with our quest. There are just 2 little things that we need to carry on with just for now to get this fully complete. The next bit enables us to use enter or escape buttons on the keyboard to cycle through the text boxes, because at the moment, because of the way we have it set up, the only way to get off the text buttons is to continuously click our NPC. And what I'll do is I'll drag our NPC into Jimmytown firstly. There we go. Keep everything neat and tidy. So the next thing we need to do is a function. Just update, which is pretty standard, to be honest, within Unity. Open curly bracket. And we need if, let me see, input dot get button down. And we need submit, and the submit button should hopefully so sorry, we'll just quickly finish that. It's 2 closed brackets and an open curly bracket. Hopefully if you go to edit and go to project settings and input and click there, you'll have submit there, 2 names submit, enter button, return button. And also, just for future reference, cancel is down as escape, so we'll be using cancel in just a second. So that's why we have that submit. So that submit button now refers to your enter or return key. We need to go and type message box.set active open bracket false. And next line is text box on check equal to 0. And the last one, just to be sure we get the message across and is right, text message. In fact, do you know what? We don't need to retype it. We've already typed it once, so we can copy and paste that right there. So that should be your line there. If you've already typed something once, there's no point typing it twice. It takes up time. Okay, so that is the end of that one. So let me just check. Blah, blah, blah. Function update. Yeah, we've done that. Hang on. That's auto completed there. So we need, that should be input.get button down, submit. And we actually do need another if statement just there. So if, let me see, do that, and then my virus definitions are up to date. Don't care. So if text box on check is equal to 1, then we need to do what we've just typed. So let's tab that across to make that all neat. So what we've done there is if we press the enter or return key, then we need to check if our text box is on screen, and if it is, we take it off, reset the check, and also change the text. So we need to close them 2 ifs. And then we also need to do an if statement for the cancel button. So rather than type again, what we'll do is we'll copy, and we can kind of cheat a little bit. Instead of submit, we can just put cancel. And then right at the very end of the script, we just need another closed curly bracket and save. So as I say, all we've done there is whenever we press submit or cancel, we can skip through our text boxes. So let's quickly check. Let's press play. Let's walk into our house, blah, 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 blah. Let's talk to our man, and there we go. So now let's press the enter key. And as you can see, let's press escape. Them keys now work to get out of your speech. So we'll leave that tutorial there for now. It's dragged on a little bit longer than I would have liked. As I say, if you have any problems with the script, it is available on our website for free. You shouldn't have any problems with that one. Next episode, we're going to carry on looking at our quest and compiling it all together. So until next time, thank you very much for watching.